is Max, and this is the second attempt at doing something new called Outside the Box Talks, where I thought once a week on Wednesdays, we could just chat for a little bit about a certain topic that either, comes to me intuitively or maybe something that I've been hearing in the groups from the week, and just see if we can come to maybe some new or interesting understanding of it, and maybe even try a technique or two. So whether you're watching this live in a moment or later on, I'm so glad you're here. To get started today, I told you that every week I wanted to just try a different intuitive technique that I do that you might want to try. Okay, and so for today, sometimes I just like to just pick a random oracle card. They have just different sayings on them, And so the main thing that I've been feeling today, though, is for some reason feeling like a lot of us are walking away from something this week. Does that make any sense to you? I'm gonna move this down a little. Come on in and get comfy. So I've just been getting the feeling like maybe it could be a relationship, but it sort of feels like a project or something that if you've been really working towards something, maybe even wanting to maybe get a promotion, but more so like you've been wanting to just get closer to someone, or you've been wanting to start maybe painting, or maybe just trying to get closer, like I said, and maybe you're sort of feeling like the juice isn't worth the squeeze, maybe. All right, so let's see. And I don't have all the answers, but you do in your subconscious. We all do. So I'm kind of trusting that. So it's just a fun way to see if we can get some information that might help you. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Let's do this the OG way from the group. So I'm going to offer you 3 different messages from your subconscious that has to do with this week, and if there's anything at all that you're sort of feeling disappointed with, maybe walking away from, and we can talk about maybe some questions. What are some questions you can ask that will help you feel more certain in that? Because that can be really painful, especially if it's something you've been putting a lot of energy into for a long time. But not to get ahead of myself. All right. So let's see. Okay. So what I invite you to do very quickly is we'll do a 60-second hypnosis just to get an intuitive answer if you'd like to participate. Okay, so you can take a slow, deep breath in as you look straight up, and keep your eyes looking up as you breathe out, relaxing those shoulders down, 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 away from your ears. And every time you breathe in, you can feel your shoulders fall down, away from your active mind, those thoughts, worries, and distractions just melting away. And the next time you breathe out, close your eyes and relax every cell of your body, as if the air around you was a close, comforting friend, creating this moment perfect for just you. And now imagine that you are walking down a city street, and there's some people in the distance, but it's fairly quiet. Maybe you can see someone selling flowers, and in front of you, you come to a stand that is selling newspapers. You might imagine the different colors, the different prints. and just go up to one of these newspapers and notice that there is one meant for you. And maybe the man selling them says, yeah, people are letting go of a lot of things in order to bring fresh, better things into their life. So there's a lot of good information in there. Pick up this paper and notice when you look at the date, does it say January, February, or March? Is this paper January, February, or March? Just go with your first intuitive sense. You can even visualize or create any details. Can you see any pictures, any words? Knowing that your subconscious has all of this figured out and can help you. And when you're ready, put that newspaper in your back pocket. I'll pay for these for you, so it's on me this time. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in and open your eyes. Welcome back. So that was pretty quick, but in case you're new to this, this is how this works. Your intuition is so good, it already knew some of these messages that I pulled out attached to the months. So it had you connect to, or it drew your attention to a certain month to make sure you got that message about letting go. Okay, there's so many different things we could say on this. And again, I just want to say that when you watch this, I'm glad that you're here. And even if this is not something that feels really apparent in your life right now, know that just by being here and listening and just even thinking about this or sharing this information later on can help the world be a better place. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so if you were drawn to, So if you were drawn to the newspaper that had January on it, then it seems like something that you're feeling pressured to walk away from and let go of. It could be an unloving relationship. And if you're watching this now, you may want to go back and just do that quick hypnosis to pick a card, but you don't have to. So just in general, if you're going through something where you've been feeling a little unloved, honestly, if you've been feeling like uncared for, and this could even be around your mother or a motherly figure in your life, and if you've been feeling like you've been putting a lot of energy into that, that's hard. And especially if it's felt like a lifetime, it seems that your subconscious is encouraging you to know that it is perfectly okay to get some space from giving so much love and attention to this, maybe a motherly figure, and to spend some time on yourself. This card that I pulled out for you says appreciate yourself, but it was in reverse. So this just means that if you've been sort of going back and forth about, should I, put less energy into talking to my mom because maybe she needs a lot of energy. It's okay for anybody to take a little break to recharge ourselves, okay? And for you, that could be as simple as getting near some water. Maybe you really like the ocean or near the water, and maybe even play an instrument. I just feel like that might be helpful. And if you know that deep down taking some time for yourself is refilling your cup so you can be there for everyone else. You won't feel the need to defend yourself much or anything like that. Just know that it's good for everyone and we can do that. And it's interesting because even on this card, she's sort of walking away, isn't she? She's walking away from something. So whatever is going on, whether you connect with that or not, I hope that that's encouraging. And if you needed any kind of permission, which you don't, to take some more time for yourself, this would be it. Okay? And that is extra hard when it's a parent. Okay. So if you were drawn to the newspaper in that hypnosis we did a few minutes ago that said February on it, it's really interesting because it's saying, your subconscious would be saying that you are doing pretty well. It would say that you, if anything, you are considering like walking away from worry about money, or if you've had some worries about being able to connect with maybe like a father, like your father figure, or maybe if you've had any worries about connecting with your, maybe you have a son, you're going to just walk away from that because it's really amazing. You have prosperity upright, and then you have heaven. So what these basically mean is that if there's something that fell too. If you've been wondering about, are things going to be okay? It seems like they really are. And I think what might be helpful to know is that we get in this habit and this pattern of there's certain things that I have to feel bad about. There are certain things that, we can never be too happy about. We can never, be too proud of. These are like rules that we often learn in our families growing up. They're not always written down, but we tend to find them out when we get older. And so all that to say, if you have been thinking about, sometimes you really worry about, let's say, money, and then maybe one day you were thinking, you know what, I'm pretty generous with people. Maybe I'm not like covered in whatever this is, diamonds. And I mean, if you have a crown like that, that's pretty amazing. And I kind of want to see it. But, if you're doing okay financially, you don't necessarily have to worry about it. So I think what this message is about giving yourself permission to not worry for the sake of worrying. Okay? Which, to be clear, in some families growing up, can be a dangerous choice. Dangerous to be too positive or to, not get down in the misery of things. It can be dangerous to be different. And so I think just something to consider is maybe you're in a place in your life now where you can be the positive person you kind of can be sometimes. Yeah. And I'll just read this card in case it's inspiring. It says, "The unstoppable power of heaven is here to protect you. This yang energy also symbolizes the sun, fatherhood, and creation. Now you can break through obstacles once too difficult to conquer. Pay attention to the northwest, the end of fall, and the beginning of winter." So, if you have any plans if you think of yourself on a map, first of all, and then you think of what is to the northwest of me. Maybe that's where you have a father figure. Maybe that's where, you go to get some sunshine. That's just something to consider, is that there's something really good there. And it doesn't seem like you're walking away from these good things. It just seems like you're walking more confidently that you're allowed to be happy. And if other people, find that intimidating or, get resentful, that can be challenging to handle at first. But I promise you this is the thing that I learned about guilt that completely changed my mind. And it's this: there is not enough guilt you could ever feel that could, that could turn someone who is sick to make them feel better. There's not enough like shame or self-pity that you could ever feel, that would improve somebody's financial situation. We don't ever say, oh, wow, you're struggling. Oh, let me think about that. Oh, I'm horrible. I should struggle more too. Oh, like sometimes that helps people feel understood, in that way. But the best way, if you really want to help, is to try to be a source of strength. Don't be judgmental, and literally, take action, whatever that means to you. Donate things, be someone who can lend a hand, who can listen. But maybe that'll stick with you like it did with me. I had tremendous survivor's guilt after being homeless for a while, and without oversharing, would just break down in tears when, I was in this nice house and I had lots of food and a car and everything, and I would see people on the street walking and just sort of knowing what their reality is. And it's gotten a lot better, but here's an example of that. So also, it seems like if you don't have a lot of people around you lately, it does feel like that's going to change. And it will change when you allow yourself to be a little bit happier, which sounds ridiculous. Allow myself to be happier. But it kind of feels like you might be in a habit of dulling your light, dulling the good things. Maybe you have all kinds of accomplishments. Maybe you really do love the way the sun looks in the morning. Maybe you really do, think about your dog or your cat or your garden or your rhinoceros, whatever it is, you think about them and it really does light you up. And maybe you hide that because most of us had someone in our family that's like, yep, that's nice now until they die, or it's easy for you to say you haven't had da 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 da. Or another one is, well, if you're feeling so good, then why don't you go and buy my da 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 da. So all that to say, there are legit reasons some of us didn't feel safe to be happier. And now I say, give it a shot. So lastly, just a message from your subconscious around anything you feel like you're walking away from, wiping your hands of, sort of disillusioned with. If you saw the month of March on that newspaper, the message from your subconscious for that would be around, it could be around, wow, if you've been struggling with, we could call it an addiction of some kind. And, that has a lot of heavy meanings behind it. But this could be, if you are in a certain crowd of people that you all kind of do the same thing. And maybe, it could be just like we hear drinking, like maybe you find yourself drinking a bit much, but you also like hanging out with people, and having people around. It also could be lots of things like people who, tend to overwork. Maybe you have workmates that you both stay and dig deep until 1 a.m. and don't get any sleep. But if you've been having some concerns about that, whether it's substances or alcohol or sex or pornography or exercise or work, but you find that you're a little hooked because you like having a feeling of connection with those people, your subconscious would be saying that you can trust yourself to, you don't have to, let go of those people necessarily, but it does feel safe to start getting to know what you really like. And that when you feel a lot more free about your interests, the other people that feel that way without any kind of addiction, they'll come running into your life, okay, on all these horses. So sorry about your furniture. But yeah, if you are going through something like that, of course, I encourage you to reach out to a mental health professional, talk to someone that's important to you, and know that you're not alone in that. And that walking away from anything can feel a little bit scary because it's change, and our mind hates change. Our mind thinks that every time we do something different, we're dying, literally. So that's why we tend to think of all these worst case scenarios, even if they're not true, which is complicated, right? So let's see, here you are, maybe you've had kind of a rough day, and so, you do what you have available, which might be, maybe you go horseback riding with these people and watch porn. I don't know, because that's what's been relieving in the past. But now lately, maybe you've been feeling like, I don't really want to do that anymore, but I don't want to feel alone. Your subconscious would be saying that right now, stand firm and don't give in to the urge of, I have to completely obsess over this thing that I've always really obsessed about, that everybody knows, or maybe some people know. Because now is the time when, if something is falling apart a bit in your life, maybe it's been harder to get together with those drinking friends, or, it could be anything. See if you can put your energy not into trying to get that back together, like it's a good example. Like if a Lego house crumbles, you might not want to spend your energy trying to get the pieces and put them back together, but instead use your energy to pause and to think about all the, all the impressive things that you've done with those Legos, but more importantly, what do you want to build now? Maybe you want to build a bridge or a dragon. I don't know. And this card just says, with addiction, obsession, or dependence comes a loss of freedom. And this might just be saying it's time for you to feel a little bit more free. And so part of that is knowing what makes you feel free. Okay? So, oh, how interesting. They're both sixes. So it does seem like if you saw that month of March on your newspaper, that you might actually have seen something or read something recently that sort of has given you a new perspective. Like maybe you don't want to hang out with those people or do that thing as much. It might have been, it could also be something good. Maybe you heard about, a new interest that you're like, well, doing epoxy pour tables doesn't give me a hangover. Maybe, I'll kind of shift into that. But it could have been some kind of idea that inspired you that you'll be okay. But yeah, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything different. So I just intuitively just sort of felt like people might be going through a little of that, feeling like the need to walk away from something that's disappointed them. Feel free to let me know in the comments below, if that's something you're going through. Okay, so before we wrap up for today, I'd like to show you a totally new technique that can be helpful for having to make those complicated decisions to walk away from things. Because you know how easy it is to say, oh, maybe I need to give them another chance, or, I've known Bill a long time. Sure, he drinks a bottle of whiskey on his own and throws up on my couch once a week. But I've known him a long time. So whatever your situation is, if you find that there's a lot of things that are holding you to it, this can be a way not to release it, but just give yourself that freedom that it's your life, man. You can do what you want. In this moment, you don't have to commit to anything. There's no paperwork for today. Okay. So I invite you to, let's just do a really short meditation. And it's later, so wherever you are, maybe it's late and it'd be good for bed. I've been driving 3.5 hours today and I just got home, so I also could use a little bit of... Okay. So I invite you to, let me draw one more and see what this says. Okay. Solitude. So it's so funny. Meditate and reflect upon your accomplishments and lessons learned. Engage in emotional and physical cleansing to elicit new ideas. Make the best of your timing, end of winter, beginning of spring. And this is about the Northeast. So maybe you'll be feeling some freedom in the Northeast. So I like to always include the body, because if we can free the body, we can free our thoughts and feelings and everything else. So I invite you just to take one slow, deep breath in and push your shoulders down. Breathe in again. Breathe in again. Push your shoulders down as you hold your breath. And breathe out. And this time, I invite you to breathe in, and you're pulling your arms up and back, squeezing your shoulder blades together, looking up, holding your breath as if you're wringing out a towel, and then breathe out and come forward and down. Good. And breathe in again and do the same thing, like you're just absorbing that fresh, clean water. And then breathe out, and you're squeezing out that towel, getting out anything that's been weighing you down. And then one more time, breathe in, hold your breath, and breathe out. And shake out your arms and close your eyes. Okay. So now I just invite you to give yourself permission to completely relax for this short guided meditation, for letting go and feeling completely free of everything for a few moments. And the more that you notice the feeling of the air moving in your nose, the more the rest of your body is likely starting to soften, melt, and let go. isn't it? And the more that you enjoy that deep release of the air moving out your mouth, the more space, peace, and patience you feel in your body. And you might begin to just follow the path of that air as it moves in your nose, cleansing and clearing any thoughts, worries, or distractions. And maybe do you feel it in the back of your throat, in your lungs? And as you breathe out, can you follow it as if it's cleansing and sweeping away anything that's felt heavy, congested, any sadness, worry, any responsibilities that you wish you didn't have but feel that you can't communicate. Allow your breathing to clear all that out, so when and if you want to communicate your needs, you'll be perfectly ready. And now I invite you to just imagine that there is a very comfortable rock that you've placed on the top of your head. Just a small rock, maybe about the size of a golf ball, but very sturdy. In fact, the more you sense and feel this gentle weight, the more it makes you want to sit up straight, as if you can let go because the top of your head is being suspended and held by a string. And instantly feeling the warm wave of that weight from that rock soar down your spine and through your entire body like a warm wave on a cold day, like a warm blanket after being outside in the cold, like a hug from someone you care about deeply. Feel this heavy weight perfectly move and dance down, relaxing your head, your neck, your shoulders, your spine, down through your chest and heart. Can you imagine, sense, pretend that you can sense this small weight all the way down through your pelvis into the surface beneath you? And as we complete the beginning and the longest part of this deep relaxation, we move into the brief, concentrated, relaxing ending. So just feeling the air around you and let it all go blurry and move inward. Feeling the strength of your bones and the softness of your muscles, and let go and go inward. Feel your shoulders melt, and I don't know which shoulder that was holding anxiety, fear, burdens will completely fall away from that ear. Maybe it's the left or the right. And I don't know how good that will feel, but you do. Going even further inside, all you breathe is comfort. All you sense is space. Feel the comfortable space inside you, around your heart, making space for new emotions. What emotions would you like to breathe in to this new space? Hope, courage, kindness, excitement. And just as effortlessly as imagining 1,000-petal flower opening, feel this space expand, this space around your emotions in your body. Feel how easy it is to float from feeling relaxed to feeling peaceful, maybe feeling distraction, then floating back to gratitude for who you have become. And taking one more deep breath in, feel the space all around you and how protected and safe you are. And take just a moment, and if there's anyone in your life that would benefit from some feelings of emotional freedom, having options, feeling balanced, feeling that they're not crazy, you can just imagine sending this space so far outside of you that it reaches them too. And now you can count upward if you'd like to become more clear, alert, and awake for the rest of your day. Or you can count from 3 down to 1 if you'd like to go even deeper for a fuzzy, calm, easy sleep. Starting now. So I hope that was helpful. And remember, in the end, everything will be okay. And if it's not okay, it's not the end yet, except for this live. I'll see you soon. Comment in the below and let me know if it's helped at all. Take care.